If a boy tap on your clocks, don't him. Yeah, man. You know, mother boy try to take your food, note, cut short and bust brain and blah. And we smoke to that and we drink to that.
Come link with me under the Iroko tree. Make a reason to rebel season. Speaking the truth for the youth. Maintaining the spiritual rules. Maintaining the spiritual rules. Maintaining the spiritual rules.
Blessed love, welcome forward again. World family, African family. Underneath the Iroko tree once more. Iroko reasoning, spiritual roots. Tapping into the spiritual roots of things. As always, here, we're there once more. We take that breath of fresh air and we give thanks to be here. Yeah, man, welcome forward again. I will say, welcome forward in the spirits and energies of MAAT, UBUNTU. Greet you, Mer, HOTEP, ANKH, SENEB. Yes? And we want to say, give thanks to all who are supporting. And we say, keep sharing, keep liking, keep so others can subscribe, and we say keep commenting so we can have the conversations based on my opinions and my viewpoints of how I look at things and how I think about things. Yes? So within this time we also want to say, for those who have lost someone spiritually, financially, emotionally, physically, all is them. We want to say more strength to you, more strength to you. Hopefully you can find your way to move forward in a progressive manner. More strength to you. Yes. Welcome forward. As we say, we're there for your next reasoning. And this reasoning now we want to look on supply and demand. Demand and supply. The negative product. Yeah? So we want to question it. Who is to be blamed? Who is more instigating? Who is pushing the agenda? Who is accepting the agenda? So these things we want to look at. But before we get into the main root of the reasoning, you know, we are going to jump in a Herbz Caanah. Yes, so for this Herbz Caanah now we're going to tap into, we're going to take a look on nut grass. Nut grass, yes, which is this right here. So, make we get into it, I want to say, not medically trained, not a medical doctor, we're just sharing these things for awareness. So if you want to use, interested in using, do your own research, do your own searching, make it research, so you can have full information. The information is out there, Google, YouTube, all over the place. Check across sites, compare the data so you know what you're taking on is actually the right and correct thing. And as we say, the key to the health is knowledge, and not only knowledge but use of the knowledge. Yes, not more medical or what we consider pharmaceutical dosage. Yes, so we have to take a look on nut grass, which a whole lot of information is out there. Yeah, so we see some here, so we see some here, so yeah, man, barefoot we are tread it in the yard, yeah, so because you don't know, you're supposed to connect with the soil, connect with nature in all aspects as much as we can. Take off the shoes, then take off the rubber where a bridge or stop the contact what we're supposed to really have with the earth. So yeah, man, nut grass right there. So this is where I look on. So a little bit of information. So I will say we briefly touch on these things. So this nut grass or musta or Cyporus rotundus is often dismissed by the untrained eye as a pesky weed, but the small aromatic tuber of this perennial herb is a potent traditional medicine remedy thanks to its antioxidant properties, antimicrobial abilities and more. This herbal powerhouse may actually hold the key to many diseases and help niggles you're dealing with right now. Here's what you need to know. Sorts of digestive ailments. Nut grass we are talking about. Tackle obesity and gut fat issues. Yes? Nut grass. Right there. So, as you can see, we have many other herbs around the place, but the focus is on the nut grass at this time. Fight urinary tract infection, ease menstrual problems, works as regulate blood pressure, slow aging and counter dementia. Nut grass we are talking about, which is this one right here, nut grass. This one right here. I'm going to try to get to the root of it so we can see why it is also called nut grass. Fight off range of infections, relieves allergy, coughs and other respiratory problems, has benefits for hair and skin, helps with wound healing, eases conjunctivitis symptoms, helps manage diabetes, tackle epilepsy and reduces seizure, eases rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis symptoms, has cancer fighting potential. So we are talking about the nut grass. This one right here, just a growing in the yard right here, so yeah, nut grass. So let's see if we can get to the main root so we can see why it is possibly considered nut grass. So it has tuberous food underneath the earth there, which is sometimes very deeply buried and hard to get to, but we'll see if we can find. So there we go. So there is a, so this is probably mainly why it is called nut grass. So there is that nut under the earth there, that food. So as we say, do the search, make it research, so you'll be understanding where, if not all, these parts of the plant can be used. So there is that nut under the earth there, so nut grass. I don't know if one is aware of tiger nut, which is the family of this, which is more geared to eating, makes milk as well, and that is also a nutritious food as well, mainly from the African region as far as I know. So this is a brief look at nut grass, and as we go and scroll through on the internet and show you there are numerous amounts of information out there. So look at that, a whole lot of information as we scroll through. So just take the time out to do some research and you will understand that there are so many medicines that we have so around us, just in our yards, you know what I mean? We just need to tap in, do the research, and we understand what's going on. So nut grass with this Herbz Caanah, and as we say, nature's pharmacy. We come see and we study and we find out that all of these are our remedies. Yes? Yeah man. Powerful, as we would say, weed or bush herb, not grass. Powerful. So the stalk is somewhat of a triangular shape. And there's the nut under there, so nut grass. Look into it, learn about it. So now we can introduce it to the diet, whether we have ailments or not. So we go for the nut grass right in the yard, that's how I grow. I will say give thanks, blessed, Herbz Caanah, nut grass. Check it out. So now we jump into real life challenges. Yeah, so for this real life challenge we want to look on remaining positive in a down time. Yeah? In a not so favorable time. So we don't want to go like when a human and these things don't affect us as much as we want to hold on to joy and you know what I mean? But it's not so much about the ideal, but how much we deal with what's real. Yes? So in the down times, it's for, as we said, take that breath of fresh air, go within the self and try to balance the self to know that these things are a part of real life. Yes? So when there's no one around, we give thanks when there's someone around we can lean on and that can hug us and hold us up. But when there's no one around, we have to now get within ourselves and balance ourselves to know that this is real life, and for us to get past or into tomorrow, then we have to deal with the now, the present. And we have to console ourselves, we have to be able to do that. So in the good times we need to practice how to tap in to ourselves, you know what I mean, within those times. It's just like what would I say, when you have food, practice to behave or to somehow fast, in the sense we say like you don't have no food. So in the case you end up in a real situation, then you have some kind of a way to maneuver yourself within that situation. Yes? So we need to practice these things as well. We not hope for them happen, but we know say it's real life we are dealing with, and these things do come up on us, and we have to deal with them. So we give thanks to all who is around and supporting, but we need to also be able to balance ourselves just in case, because we need to understand that each person have their difficulties to deal with it at some point in their life as well. You know what I mean? And then we also being able to balance ourselves, then we can be there for them in those times as well. So the real life challenge is, for remain positive within the downtime. Yes? So we struggle with that too. And we say something in the comment section where you struggle with it's your weak point, where you want to get stronger at, where you want to grow into, and where you want to grow from. Yes? Real life challenges. Yeah, so as we say, the main root of the reason for this one is supply and demand. Demand and supply. The negative product. Yes? So who is pushing the agenda? Who is a part of the agenda? Who is participating willingly or unwillingly and not even know? Because if we're not tapping spiritually, from that spiritual rooted sacred place within ourselves, certain things escape us. Yes? Because we just go along. So one of the things that we say, when we have the chance or the moment to influence in the positive sense, for something which might potentially become negative, and we don't, and we take the side of, sure, love it here, man, that's our lifestyle. Like people do what they want to do. So the moment where we have to somehow slow the growth of that, or even stop the growth of something negative and didn't, then we now become the complainers of that same negative thing that we allow to grow and become this big old tree where we can hardly find the root or be able to manage the root to cut it out. So this is what we need to understand, that half the time we are the ones who allow these things to become, and then we become the complainers. You know what I mean? As a virgin would have said, don't complain, complain. Yes? So this is what we are looking for. Supply and demand, the negative product. Yeah? So sometimes we become this unwilling, unintentional willing participant, because these negative things, they need us to push them, make them manifest. Yes? So sometimes we see these gruesome things happen, and through the social media and all these things now, we want to share it with friends and family based on how gruesome and how impactful it is. On the negative side, we want it to be a topic of discussion. So we end up sharing it till it becomes now, what was in the sight of 1 and 2 is now in the sight of millions and billions. And unwillingly or unconsciously, we're not realizing that we have helped this negative thing to now grow into something that if we did just keep it where it is, it wouldn't have become what it has become. So we have to understand, say, sometimes we, based on our subscription to the negative, we help the negative to grow, not intentionally. So when it comes to the music, yeah, we say some people take the position, say, boy, the music not that influential on it, no, this and it, not that. But when we see as the music drop, it get millions of views. Yes? So this negative thing now is now in the eyes and ears have been consumed by millions of us. Yes? As we say, based on the shock value and all these things, we take it on and we promote it, not knowing that this is what we're doing, not conscious about this is what we're doing. Yes? So we become unintentional, willing participant in the growth of the negative sometimes. Yes? So sometimes we know what we are doing, but sometimes we just get caught, as we say, based on the shock value and how gruesome and how daring these acts are. Yes? So as we say, when they come to the music, as we hear a sister in Reason one time, this artist gets into the contract, and based on, let's say I am the promoter, the producer of this music or movie or whatever it is in that regards. This negative thing now, I produce it, I push it out there, but when the artist goes and presents this, it now has millions and billions of subscribers. So for me now, in this for money, because we want to check, say, business is not about morality, it's about money. So when I put this out and I say this product is being gravitated to on the level where we see it being gravitated to, the artist is now trapped in this contract to continue to push this thing. because I am making money, you are making money as well. So even if the artist want to come out of the contract, then we subscribing to the product is what is keeping the artist in the contract. Yes? So even not being aware of the background, the workings in the background and what we are supporting, sometimes we are helping to keep this negativity alive. So we need to check in, we need to tap in. So it's just like a supermarket. This product, this new product come out on the shelf, you go in 1 week to buy and you see this thing and someone try it. And when you try it, it's nice, it's sweet, you know what I mean? It's appealing to you. And then after a month or two, you go back a shop for this item, you can't see it. Talk to somebody in the store, them say, okay, I can't continue to carry it because no one is buying it. Yes? So it's the same thing. So it's bad for business at that level. So it's the same thing when we are subscribed to whatever we feel. So we are subscribed to, because we have taken the position of people are going to do what they want to do, and yeah, it's going to happen regardless. But not realizing that we are the one that's supporting it and pulling it into consistency. So with the music, or would I say is not so influential, is why the corporate world will take the most popular artists to advertise them product, because them realize the influence we have, yes, and them see a way for that now become part of their money making machine. So we need to tap in, and we have the argument of saying art influence, life is influencing the art, yes. So what about the art also influencing life? So we take it from one section of the society and we project it on the next side of society. So this youth now or whosoever is under a vibe, yeah? Bridging it, I'm on tap on your clocks if you done him, you know what I mean? If a boy tap on your clocks, done him, yeah? You know, mother boy try to take your food, note, cut short and bust brain and blah 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 blah. And we smoke to that and we drink to that. The least little thing of what we consider violation, a boy forget a brain, forget flush out. Yes? So if you're a little man now under the influence of the Wi-Fi vibration, the megahertz, under the bad vibes of the liquor and the smoking and all these chemicals combined within the body. Because we need to understand so that these chemical reactions are real. Then now the next thing of the influence through the ears, the consumption through the ears and the eyes. You know what I mean? Worse of the video they go with it. So I show you an image. So that now even push more motivation into this individual to go and pursue this thing where him say violate him and forget rid of this thing where now go violate so it not violate again. So we need to understand this. Yes? So even when we check in, we get caught and somehow this thing embedded in a way that stick to the evil where you know. Yes? So that now tell us no matter what go on, so better we just stick with this in a mode and try to do better or whatever come and present itself as better. But you're not really sure about yet. We not have the willingness to try this to see if it really better. So we rather stick with the worst thing what we know. So we get caught in a them thing too. So we need to look on these things and tap in spiritually and find that balance within the self. You know what I mean? Supply and demand and supply. The negative product. Who is more to be blamed? Who is pushing? Who is accepting? So we need to look on the balance of this. When it comes to the next side of the media now, what would I call news and all these things, it is based on the gruesomeness, the wickedness, who are given born today, which man beat them woman, which woman beat them man, how much murder dead, how much people dead, how much accident happen, how much, you know what I mean, who never survive, all these things. So when them check them ratings, them realize that is when these things are going on the news, them viewership is way up. The stats are way up. So the little youth to help the old lady cross the road. When that did go on, it never too, you know what I mean, people will take a break them time there. You know, 1 or 2 people will get caught by that, you know, yeah man, that's nice. But majority, that no work out for the business of the news. So, it's based on when a lady did in the cashier line in the supermarket and she did short $500 and a man step up and our next female step up and say, I pay for the rest of the things them for you. That not so, it's nice, you know. But it now grab people the way, the gruesomeness, the wickedness on the news is grabbing people because them check them ratings and say the viewership is all the way up at that time. So this is the thing. So as we said, business is not based on morality, it's based on money. So these are the things we are looking for. So the subscribers, whatever we produce and put forth, you know, as we said before, if no one is taking it and moving with it, then it doesn't grow. So we need to check in and realize who is more at fault for this negativity growing and becoming something that is a 7-head, 10-head, million-head monster. Yeah, so the other day I watched a thing where I'm going to talk about specifically domestic violence, and then begin to reel off the data of how, you know what I mean, what's causing. So it's basically a study, and it just clicking on me to realize if you study half of these things, these negative things, you have to allow them to happen, because that's how you get the data. So even within finding solutions, as what we would have want to consider solution, because half the time what we are consider solution is really problems we are use a band-aid the next problem. Yes? Because we have that collective approach so much. Is 1 and 2 people I try fix one nationwide problem, but we need more collective things. So to get the data from these things, we have to allow them to exist, and realize that say sometimes we find ourselves in a space where we allow negativity to exist because we want the data to study, we want this to do that, and to say we are trying to solve, when in that process we are helping make the problem even bigger. You know what I mean? So we get caught in the trap of allowing the thing to become bigger because we want to try to find a solution to it, when now when we allow it to become bigger, we have to find a next solution for the bigger thing where we allow it to grow to, because we say we are studying and we are get data to analyze. There's a long chain of events where we need to really analyze and look at what we are doing, and start to take a different approach, because what we are doing so far, it's not really a work how it's supposed to work. You know what I mean? Supply and demand, demand and supply, the negative product. We really need to re-examine, because we get caught in this individualized kind of a thing. I want to be the hero. So when I have this great collective effort to push against the negative, yes? This individualized thing, because one of the biggest things that happened to us is that we have gotten, we get caught in separating things, not realizing that everything is connected. So the church, the religion, the school, the education, the ignorance, everything is one feeding the next. So we need to take the approach of realizing that everything is connected, nothing is separate. Yeah? So until we begin to do that, then the solutions will always become even bigger problems. Yeah, and as we talk about separation, for those of us who go through how many levels of schooling, we realize we're going to talk about sexuality. We realize sex is something we never, through all the levels of schooling where we go through what we call guidance counseling and biology, we realize we never really hear or get that really established connection between sexuality and spirituality. Yeah? Some of us is probably even a sin to talk about spirituality and sex in the same sentence, or spirituality and God in the same sentence. So just to throw that in there, sir. Yeah? So these are the things we are talking about. So we really need to recognize we're handing over the same baton to pick them. You know, we now pass on critical thinking, deep thinking, make sense thinking, and behaviors. So if we don't seek to learn anything more than what we have been told, to find out a little bit even more for ourselves based on what them not tell we, then if you have been taught to believe lies, then you believe in the lie. That's the only thing now you can teach to your children. You know what I mean? So we need to tap in some more. We need to do the research. We need to try to look behind the scenes of all these things. You know what I mean? So we don't become producers of the negative product. So that's the only thing we pick them going to have to subscribe to. Make a tap in. Get back to that spiritually rooted place within the self principle. As we say, we're not going with loyalty, because loyalty can be bought. You know what I mean? Loyalty is fickle. It's based on what's been supported at the time that loyalty goes with, based on my observation and what we say happen within real life. Yes? Because we don't establish. It's not so much about the ideal, but how you deal with what's real. So when we say principle now, principle is what don't change no matter what's going on. We're going to stick to that and hold that. So, and that's how we're there. There's also the side of we support friends and family based on the fact that we're in a certain needs, and these friends or families are going out and they're committing negative acts, but they're bringing in what we consider is needed to our survival. So we even do that too. And when them get caught, we are the ones now saying, boy, these persons are them good and them never involved in this and them. So we have to really take check on what we are support and what we are subscribed to in a real way. You know what I mean? Oh God, no, let him do it. No, when I wicked and I should have killed him. And as them say, we take God off of the cross. Yeah? Yeah, man, yo, a good youth and I don't know the money. Yo, a good youth and them youth. And you know, so the furniture and the thing and the dinner where you eat last night come through the fax and flush out one old lady and then grab one nice woman or one nice man that come from work where go home for feed for them picnic and all of these things. You know what I mean? So as we say, supply and demand, demand and supply, the negative product, who is pushing, who is instigating, who is subscribing, who is supporting the agenda, who is pushing the agenda. So we need to tap in, we need to get to that critical, honest place with ourselves. Take a look at what we're doing and supporting. Yeah, man. We really need to do that. Yeah, so we check out certain industries like the beauty industry and religion and almost everything. The foundation of these things are not so much of morality, but of money. So the beauty industry, half of the things then what we use to say we are enhance beauty, which we don't establish. You can't enhance beauty. You just have to do something else. Yes? So the chemicals, all these things are multi-billion industries of chemicals that are not helpful to your health. But what? It's hard to interrupt the foundation then now if you say you want to get rid of all these things to try and do something on a moral side. That not help your pocket. So we need to check into these things. The same thing with religion. You know what I mean? If we do the investigation, check the history, we realize that half of the things we have believed in is not so much something we really believe in. But because the foundation has been set on so many things, business, marriages, all part of life is now set on this foundation. It's hard to uproot that now. To say, boy, you go moral. Yes? So that's why I always say, check the history of anything. The truth is in the beginning of everything. So we need to check in, we need to understand this. Yes? So supply and demand, the negative product. So many people have crazy amount of money in the bank, but they're morally bankrupt. Yes? Because if we check what's going across the world right now, we even take a look on it and we realize that money itself is not really power so much. Because we see people with millions and billions of dollars still have to bow and apologize for making some moral stance, to agree with something or make more sense, and them have to take that and apologize and retreat them statements and withdraw them statements. Yeah? So money itself is not so much power, but it's ownership, really, where I see based on what we see happening in the world now. You know what I mean? So these are the things we need to understand, we need to tap in, we need to look at what's happening around us. So as we say, supply and demand, the negative product. Who is pushing, who is accepting, yes? And we can see the lines of morality basically about right now. Because we have society now teaching a girl that if she feel like a boy, we're going to grow as a boy. And if a boy feel like a girl, we're going to grow as a girl. And throughout the history, the fact based on how we got to be here. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to the reproduction of life. Yes? So what's the agenda? Then we see people subscribing and taking on this thing because, as we say, them teach you to always look outside of ourselves for solutions. Even if those solutions are bringing more problem, majority, half the time, based on what we see, is taking these things on. So the one and two, like me or whosoever else, we are say, no, we take a stand, we have the standard, we maintain our principle, our sacred principles. It now go nowhere because majority is already persuaded and going along with the things that are not making so much sense. So I'll talk about the beauty industry, just like the farming industry. You go to school, you get educated about farming, and farming is telling you to use these chemicals to pump into the soil where you plant the food in. So the foundation of these things are built on so much negative, but it's hard to go dig it up now and say we are trying to correct it because we are looking at the loss of money and not so much the loss of life. You know what I mean? So all these things, we need to tap in, we need to check in and realize half of what we are doing now make no sense, honestly. Really. The negative product, supply and demand. So we look at society now and realize the majority of we, even though I subscribe to names, willingly I call we ourselves names that were once used to devalue us and denigrate us. Yes? Names that were used to represent us as less than human. And we are take that on now and we are run with it like it's nothing. So, supply and demand, the negative product. Who is more to be blamed? Yes? Because if you plant a seed and the seed don't have the correct soil, the water and all of the things to make it grow, it's not going to grow. So it's within we accepting certain things, we are the ones allowing these things to grow and become monstrous amongst us. So as the saying goes, you are what you consume. And we always say it's not only by food that we eat, it's by listening and looking. So what you become what you consume. There's them to what you are what you eat. So based on the fact that we have been subscribing to the negatives for so long, then what we are realizing now is that we become the negative products ourselves. So we need to really take a look at this. Yes? So we are now the negative products because we have been consuming it for so long. Yeah? So as we say, what you don't fight against is basically what you're supporting to grow. Yeah? So if you don't take a stance against it and remains as them to silence is consent. So all these things we need to tap in spiritually, look on the sacredness of what we're giving up, and then look on the things that we are taking on and how much they are making sense to the forward movement of life itself, life at all levels. Yes? As we establish, you become a leader or the leader of what you follow, because you following something means that someone else is following you. And then we want to look on those who are pushing the agenda, creating the negative product for us to subscribe and take on and use, is that when them put out a product, let's say them advertise to 10 people and 9 reject it. So we hear the talk of, we grew up with hearing the thing of no rest for the wicked. But when we come and analyze is to realize that the wicked will not rest because the agenda must go through. So we have said that to say, when I produce this product, advertise it to 10 people and 9 reject it and 1 take it on. For those who are on the negative side and want the wicked side and want them thing to be promoted and pushed, them see that 1 as a positive, you know. Because all they're saying is that 9 is not the crowd we need to be advertising to. We need to find more like this 1. So them find positive in a way we, the good side, would have considered negative. So we need to learn from all these concepts as well. Yeah? So when them realize that 1 person take it is just to find a million more like this 1. So them are going to advertise and do them thing until them find that. When we on the other side, we would have considered good and positive, we see the 9 as something to give up, because 1 not good nothing for we. When we now realize we need to find 1 or 2 more, 3 more until it grows to more of those. So this is what I say. So if the total 10 did reject it now, then we would have realized it would become a harder task for those who are pushing these agendas. You know what I mean? Supply and demand, the negative product. So if we don't subscribe, you know what I mean? These things won't happen, these things won't grow. They won't become things that we have to be dealing with at some later date. And then I ask yourself, how did we get here? Yeah, so our next reasoning, yes? Demand and supply, the supply and demand, the negative product. So we want to say, stay safe out there, take care of yourself, take care of the health, take care of the environment, so the environment can take care of we. The environment is the biggest doctor we'll ever know. Yeah? So, make we tap in, dissect the information, take out what makes sense, throw what don't make sense. Make we stop run around like we head cut off now. Yeah? Take care of the youths then. Also stay safe out there, stay positive, you know what I mean? Careful where you subscribe to. Do the research and all these things. Always listen for more than what is said, look for more than what is shown. Half the time more information is on that side of the thing. So once a blessed love. Peace.
Come link with me under the Iroko tree. Make a reason to every season, speaking the truth for the youth, maintaining the spiritual rules, maintaining the spiritual rules, maintaining the spiritual rules.